For hanging out with us. I'm Kat Shear, and this is a special presentation from Clydesdale Media. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone about our sponsors. RX Smart Gear provides world-class jump ropes, grips, and other gear for us all. Use the code Clydesdale15 for 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. Mobility Movement is a program that teaches you how to increase your capacity to heal, reduce recovery time, and restore your nervous system to peak health. Everyone gets a 7-day trial, and after that, our followers get their first month free when they use the code Clydesdale Free Month at mobilitymovement.com. And finally, C4 Energy, delivering the most effective, best tasting, and highest quality products. Get 20% off when you use the code Clydesdale at checkout at c4energy.com. And today on Meet the Athlete, we are chatting with Granite Games semifinalist Andrea Chiovitti. And you have a little bit of an identity crisis on the game's website. So let's talk about that real quick.
Let's talk about
it. So on the leaderboard of Granite Games, you are Sharkowitz.
Yeah.
But your profile, when I click on your profile, it's Chiovitti.
Yeah.
It looks like your Instagram is updated, but someone needs to get the memo at Granite Games that you got married, right?
Yeah, and I guess at CrossFit too, because I think if you search me on the leaderboard, like for quarterfinals and stuff, it's my maiden name.
It's Sharkowitz.
Yeah. So I guess
it is a common problem for a lot of people. Even I interviewed a guy, CJ. I'm going to get his last name wrong, but this guy, CJ, and he's got two profiles on CrossFit Games website. One is C lowercase j, one is C capital J, and he can't get them merged together.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's got like a bunch of holes in his career, but he really doesn't.
Right.
There's just two of him. So.
Right. No, I got in touch with CrossFit before the Open started.
Okay.
And they had me like send my marriage license and all this like very official stuff. And I thought it was handled. But
clearly not.
I just figured I couldn't have been the first person to ever have been married, right? Like this has to be worked out. But
yeah, you're not the first person to have the problem though. Right? So that's unfortunate. But anyway, the good news is it looks like you've been on a steady rise since your first Open in 2016. This will be your first year getting this far into the CrossFit Games qualification process. Yes. How are you feeling?
Excited. I mean, this was the goal going into this year to just make it to a semi, and now it's like, oh shit!
Now you're here.
Where your mouth is. Yeah, time to go.
What qualifying spot were you in?
115 or so. It like changed so many times, as they went through it. But yeah. I wasn't a backfill, but I was the bottom of the backfill.
Hey, it counts. Talk a little bit about your season this year in terms of, you making it through the Open and quarters and things maybe that you have developed and worked on to get you this far.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of like the Open being top 10% now because it's, something that if you're going to be competitive at quarterfinals, you can just sort of train through. And so that was fun to sort of take the focus off of my own performance and just train through it and have other people at the gym have a really good time and focus on that. And then quarters, I focus on my holes from last year. And when I say I focus, but I follow Training Think Tank Compete, which is like their online program. And I worked a lot on strict handstand push-ups in general, ring muscle ups. Gymnastics in general is not my forte. So I really have come a long way in that. And it showed up for me this year, which was good.
I love it. Do you see all your friends chiming in here?
I do. Good. I was like, you guys better make it seem like I'm not a complete loser.
I want to make sure you see the love. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great. When did you decide that qualifying for the CrossFit Games was going to be one of your goals?
Qualifying for the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, like you're in it right now. Like when in your sort of CrossFit career, obviously, I mean, clearly, maybe in 2016 that was your goal too. But you tell me.
So I think like most people get into CrossFit and they're like, oh, they see the games and it's cool and it's sexy and like I want to do that. When I first met my husband, he was into this weird thing called CrossFit, and we started watching. Remember back in the day, Savan used to make Road to the
Behind the scenes.
Games, behind the
Yep.
scenes, yeah, and watching the 2014 games one where like Noah was a rookie and Camille won and all that, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. And then of
Mm.
course you get into it and you get hit with reality in the face, and I guess the real that was like my first like I want to go, I want to compete at the highest level. But last year during quarterfinals, I didn't really know what
Mhm.
to expect. Just went into it like, all right, let's go hard and see what happens. And I think I came in like 200 ish. And that was like, ooh, if I just like maybe focus and cleaned up some stuff, like maybe I could make a semi. Like it became like a glimmer of reality. And that's when I decided like I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone this year and like see what happens.
Mhm. Have you done much in-person competition? Non-sanctioned, Wadapalooza, Granite Games, local throwdowns. What's your
Yeah, I've
experience competing?
competed in like, local stuff with friends on teams. I guess my first like big competition was MacFest with my husband, Nick, one of my best friends, Marshall, and Danny Kearns, she just finished competing at the Mac this weekend. That was her
Yeah.
semi.
This past November, MacFest?
Yes, yeah. She was the one that reached out and was like, "This is a great competition. We should do it." And it was
Mhm.
super cool. I mean, everything was like so professionally run, and so that was
Yeah.
my first taste of it. Um, and then my first ever individual competition was Wadapalooza this year.
Okay.
I thought that'd be a good prep for like making a push as an individual, for
Was it
quarters and
everything
stuff.
you thought it would be?
Um, yes and no. I guess sort of. It's a lot of things going on at Wadapalooza specifically, and I
Yeah,
guess
it's
I
chaotic.
expect it's
Chaotic.
chaotic, and I didn't
Mhm.
expect it, I guess, to be that chaotic, but it was a really neat experience, and I guess the best takeaway from it was like, "Oh, Andrea, you think you're good at, like, barbell cycling, like, cool, so is everybody else at that level." Like, "Oh, you're good at, like, cyclical work? Like, sweet, get in line," like, so that was a good sort of kick in the teeth.
Sure, like a reality check for you.
Reality check for sure,
Yeah,
yeah, and
and I can imagine going from MacFest to Wadapalooza too is a bit of a shock in terms of the organization
yes,
and the
yes,
pace and
yes.
things like that. I've never been to Wadapalooza. My background in competitive CrossFit has been mostly judging, and it's the mecca for
Yeah,
judges to like, oh, you have to judge Wadapalooza. Wadapalooza scares me. Like I'm not that kind of person that likes
yeah,
chaos, and so
yeah, I give
I've
those people
resisted doing it because I just don't want to do it. and I
yeah,
had the pleasure
yeah,
of working with Wilson and his team at Mac on the media team, and I know exactly how well buttoned up their stuff
yeah,
is. So
yes,
I can understand that. I can. Granite Games should be better, in terms of organization and everything else. It won't quite be the same as a syndicate or a Mac, but certainly of the same level for sure.
yeah,
Um, you're 5'10".
I am.
Holy moly. So one of the tallest athletes on the field, probably.
Always.
Let's stay positive. What are some of the big advantages of being that tall?
Give me wall balls and rowing all day.
Right? Yep.
I don't know, I really
Do you have a 10-foot target for wall balls at Granite Games?
I don't
You
know.
doing
They
wall
didn't tell
balls?
us, so I practice with a 10-foot.
Okay.
Wall balls are
That's
always
good.
gonna be an advantage for me, like, no, I don't love a 10-foot target, but I love it more
Mhm.
than everyone else?
Yeah. So like something like that upside down for or the reverse Fran,
Yeah.
how's that like thruster cycle time has got to be a little bit slower just because you've got lots of ground to cover.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Anything where we're talking about, like, opening and closing angles quickly, it's just I do the best I can, but the fittest come out on top? Like, I
Absolutely.
mean, like, Cara Webb has her advantages and Brent Fikowski has his, and I look to people like Brent and, like, remember China Cho and
Yeah.
just lanky people, like, they do it too, and they don't make excuses, so
Mhm.
yeah.
So you said that you're with Training Think Tank. Do you work
Mm.
with anyone specifically there?
No, I have, I followed their compete program for a while. I have used Becky Rogers, she's a coach there, as a nutrition coach for a little over a year now.
Okay.
Um,
Have you
but
gotten down to any of their camps or anything like that?
yeah, yeah, I was always so my husband, he was with Brandon for a long time,
Okay.
the one-on-one coach, and I was sort of like the tag-along little sister, like going to camps with him, jumping in on his programming now and then, and uh, just kind of soaking it in from the outside. And I recently went to their semifinal like prep camp, which was a
Mhm.
super cool experience. But yeah, they have a great thing going on down there in Georgia. It's like the
Yeah, it
dream.
it looks like a lot of fun. Have you
Yeah.
had a chance to watch the semifinals that have happened already?
I've watched pieces of them, yeah. I watched the most of MacFest because or not MacFest, the Mac because my friend Danny was competing, but
Gotcha.
I'm trying to like keep my own nerves in check. So I like tune
Mhm.
in and then I tune out. Like
Yeah. Any key takeaways for you aside from the fact that you don't want to pay attention too much?
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take away the positive. Like you do see some people like, it just doesn't go the way that they had trained and you see them kind of have a little heartbreaking moment on the floor and like I'm prepared for things like that. Like that's just the nature of competing. So you want to have sort of a good reaction to not so great things. But then also like you see people like being so excited, like PRing something or and you want to take that energy away from it. I
Yeah.
remember like in college, I ran track in college, and I remember our coach always thought it was really important that we watch the meet, even if you're not competing for till tomorrow or for a few hours, because what's playing out on the field, you have to take that like contagious positive energy, and that is really powerful. So I try to take away that, and then just as soon as I get too nervous, like okay, that's enough.
I love that. It sounds like you're kind of in tune with your mindset.
I try to be. Yeah, I am. That's a huge, huge thing in all sports, I guess.
Yeah, and it seems like the training evolution in CrossFit, from 2014 to now has been, trying to achieve a better balance. Everybody's, talking about their sleep and their nutrition and their mindset and
Yeah.
maybe not overtraining anymore with volume. It's more about intensity and things like that. Have all those things come into play for you?
Yeah, it's been cool to sort of. I guess I've been, you know, improving over the last several years and becoming more and more serious about it. So when I first started, like I said, the behind the scenes, I watched like Camille like pushing a sled with Dave and getting so pissed off, or like, she was very emotional competitor
Hmm.
and like, oh wow, okay, that's how it's done. But like that's not how it's done. And you see kind of the smart over the past few years, the smart in control competitors are the ones that rise to the top. I am always shocked though, the more like competitive athletes I'm around. Um, hey Danny. The the more competitive athletes in CrossFit that I'm around, I'm always shocked. Like, not all of them have their mental game
Have it all
all good as
together.
you would think. Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
"Damn, how did you get this far?"
Well, and
But
that's what you get to see sort of behind the scenes too. I know
yeah.
working in media for the last year or so,
Oh, I'm
you do
sure.
get to see those sort of off moments where they're not on the field of play necessarily, and you see, the
Mhm.
emotions, the
Yeah.
attitudes, the ones that treat people kindly, the ones that don't treat people so kindly and all that. So yeah, it really is interesting. And at the end of the day, you realize that they're just people
Yeah.
flawed people just like
Mhm.
everybody else, even though they're magnificent athletes.
Yes. I
I
think
love
that's been
that.
a benefit of sort of like, I mean, I'm not famous. Like nobody knows that I do CrossFit. Nobody cares. But like, so I get to watch from the outside. No one's looking at me and be like,
Mhm.
that was a veteran move, or like, that's sort of embarrassing to watch.
Yeah. I love it. How are you feeling about the events coming up this weekend?
I'm excited for them. I think they're super cool. I think they're going to be just awful, painful events. So that's good. I mean, we all have to do the legless rope climb one. So I'm 5'10. It's a big angle to close, but I'm looking forward to it because like last year, gosh, if you asked me like 2 years ago, I couldn't even complete that event. So like I'm pumped to do it on the biggest stage. And then there's two other events that have massive chunks of gymnastics right in the middle. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I could like be really negative about that, or it's like you get to do this thing that you've been working so hard on in front of all your friends, like on the biggest
Yeah,
stage. So a little adrenaline always helps. It'll be good.
yeah. Aside from, working out, what do you do, for job? Are you in the medical field?
Yes, I'm a nurse anesthetist.
Oh, you are?
I am.
That is so cool. I'm trying to get my son to become a nurse anesthetist.
Do it.
Yeah,
It's the
he's a
cool
freshman. He's a freshman in college right now, and he says he wants to be a doctor, and I was like, "Mm-mm, no, no, no. You wanna be a
I
nurse
know my
anesthetist."
physician friends, you guys are wonderful.
Oh,
CRNA is
that's
the coolest
awesome.
job in the world.
Alright, I might have him talk to you.
Yes, reach out. There's
Seriously.
not a lot of
So
us out there, so, like, yeah, reach out.
so a lot of hard work. So, academically, that's a tough road
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
very demanding, but once you're there, you have a little flexibility, I would imagine?
I think if you choose to, yeah. I mean, I get comments, from other people in the field in the medical field,
Mhm.
like, because you can make great money, doing your job, obviously, but then, like, over time, there's tons of opportunity, like, everyone is short. You could kill it, but, like, for me, it's what I do from I don't do it from 9 to 5, but, like, it's what I do to just fund my lifestyle, so
Right.
I for me, it is very flexible. I work 40 hours a week. I do one 24-hour shift and 2 8-hour shifts every 7 days, and it's like,
It works.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I
what do you
can't
do
all
for
be
fun in your spare
professional.
time?
CrossFit? No.
That is
Lately,
fun. I
that's all
know. I
I
get
do.
it.
No, but, it's funny because my poor friends haven't seen me in a while because it's just been
Heads
CrossFit's
down.
literally all I do, but, my Taco Tuesday friends are on here. I can't
Yes.
not shout them out. I've
Exactly.
apologized. I've been on call for work, which is, a 24-hour shift every Tuesday for the last, like, 6 Tuesdays in a row, but normally, every Tuesday we get together, like, it's very sacred, and we have tacos on Tuesday.
And
Um,
is that gonna happen this week or no?
no, I'm on frickin' call.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
sorry. Maybe
But,
next Tuesday.
maybe next Tuesday, yeah.
Is there a particular place you go for these tacos, or do you, like,
No, we
spread out the
alternate
love and you
between
try them?
people's houses, like, yeah, we just spread the
Oh,
love,
fun.
and it started small, and we all still have fairly small kitchen tables, but we just cuddle in, and it's
Yeah.
very it's
Are they mostly
tradition.
CrossFit friends?
Yeah, they're all CrossFit
Yeah.
friends, so they get it.
It's kinda yeah, once you're deep into this, you have very few non-CrossFit friends.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of non-CrossFit friends, though, my husband and I just went, not this past weekend, but the weekend before to, the Adirondacks. We went, like, backpacking 3 days, hike a couple miles out, camp, and
Mhm.
that kind of thing. We're outdoorsy, I guess. We do that for fun. It was funny because 'cause we're getting eaten alive by bugs, and us and our friends are like, "We chose this. We do this for fun," like, "This is relaxing." But it was
Exactly.
awesome. There was no service, there was no barbells, there was no anything. It was very simple. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Um, was it weird not doing Murph this weekend?
It was a little weird. I did
Mhm.
do, we had our, like, Murph today at the gym,
Uh-huh.
um, and I did team up with my friends Hannah and Sarah, and we just broke it up 3 ways. Hi,
Oh,
Hannah.
perfect.
And, I didn't do a weight vest or anything, and just, to
Mhm.
be a part of it, but, like, I think we finished it in, like, 25 minutes, so it's just like,
A
I
quick
don't know.
little
Yeah, it
launch,
felt
yeah.
very strange, but it's cool to zoom out and watch other people.
Absolutely. Who do you have, making the trip out to, Minnesota with you,
We're a
cheering
bit
you
of a
on?
crew. Yeah, it'll be me and my husband, my sister and her boyfriend Matt, who also is a training partner of mine, my mom, Nick's mom, and then a couple of people from the gym. Actually, my friend Sarah won tickets from the Buttery Bros. Like, they
Oh,
had some
fun.
contests on Instagram, and she's like their biggest fan. So it was really cool that she won. So she's taking Katie and Jamie, a couple other girls from the gym, and then my brother-in-law and his girlfriend Jess are going.
Wow.
Yeah,
Who's gonna be wearing the coach's pass?
my husband.
Okay. He's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
keep
been kind
great.
of my coach since the beginning. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Ultimate goal for the weekend.
I mean, I do have a performance goal. Like, it'd be really cool to be in the top half of the field. Like, that would
Hmm.
be just blow me away. Um, but like, you don't have much control over that, right? So the things I do have control over, um, is just going to be to compete at a level that I'm proud of. Like, do things I'm proud of. I feel like at Wadapalooza, I mean, that was my first individual experience, and it was extremely overwhelming.
Hmm.
Yeah, and maybe make it to the games. Thanks, Mark. Um, So, but I just feel like I was just so overwhelmed that I never like looked to my left, looked to my right, like competed with the people that were right there with me. I was just like sort of working out hard, trying to, perform to the best of my ability, and I was sort of like in my lane.
Hmm.
Um, but I wanna throw down this weekend. I want to compete.
I love it. Okay, I'm not going to be there, but my co-host Scott will be there, so look for him and his
Okay.
Clydesdale Media
Yes.
credentials. One last parting question I have for you.
Mm.
So let's assume I've watched you all weekend perform, and I'm going home and explaining to my husband, what the event was like, and I say, "Man, that Andrea Chiovitti, she's blank." What would you want me to say about you?
She's a savage.
She's a savage. I
Yeah.
love it. Fair
For
enough.
sure. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
that's I mean my takeaway for the whole weekend. That's how I like to compete. Like, even if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna have to suffer to do it. So
I love it.
that's
You're
what I
going to
want.
eat.
Yeah.
Going to eat. Perfect. Well, Andrea, it's been really nice getting to know you.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to you. And
Thank you.
my goal this weekend is to have to repost this next weekend when everyone's saying,
Yes.
"Who is that Andrea Chiovetti person that no one was paying attention to?" And I can say,
Let's
"Well,
go.
I interviewed her. So go back and
Thank
watch the
you.
interview," right?
Thank you. I'm so glad
Yeah.
I did this. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you did too. Thanks so much for your time and happy trails. Best of luck, and we'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you.